What's up, guys? Welcome back to Doc's Pop Reviews. We're talking about Most Wanted Treasures, Legends on the Hunt, Episode 5, Sgt Slaughter and Iron Sheik. This episode was pretty interesting. It goes way back into the wrestling era with these two guys. They are looking for Sgt Slaughter's campaign cover hat and swagger stick, which is valued between $3,000 and $5,000. They are also looking for really anything Iron Sheik. As they mentioned, the archives have absolutely nothing Iron Sheik. And I started thinking, why don't they have the Iron Sheik on here? Talk to him. But they talk about his health has deteriorated. His health does not permit him to travel. But they decide specifically they are looking for the Iron Sheik's boots, which are valued between $2,500 and $6,000. And they're very specific boots from a boot camp match he has with Sgt Slaughter. So that's why Sgt Slaughter is also involved in his hunt for the things. And they're looking for the Iron Sheik's Persian Clubs, these large 75-pound weights that he would work out with that multiple bodybuilders couldn't do. It's valued at between $8,000 and $10,000. So they actually start with the last thing, the Persian Clubs. They find out that Iron Sheik actually gave some to former wrestler Bob Backlund. And so they go to his house first. He jumps immediately into character, starts acting really wild. Bob Backlund actually has 2 sets from Iron Sheik, but he's only willing to part with 1 set. The first set means a lot to him, has sentimental value between him and Iron Sheik, which is totally understandable, but he's willing to part with the second one if AJ, who is the collector, the one that drives around, if AJ can do the challenge. So AJ gives it a shot. He doesn't do it perfectly, but it's his first time, but it is good enough. Bob lets him get it. So WWE comes out ahead. They don't have to pay anything for free. Pretty interesting. Next, they're looking for Iron Sheik's boots. They end up at a guy. His name is John Pantozzi. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but they end up this guy named John's house. He's a former ring announcer. This gives me a little hope that he's going to show some understanding to, being a true fan. Does have the boots, and he comes out with $5,100, but they are valued at close to $6,000. So WWE does save some money. Plus, they didn't spend any money on the Persian Club, so they're still doing fine. But then we find out they actually watch a match to make sure these are legit, and they're not. And I was like, oh no, did they get a replica? Did they get ripped off? But then they go and watch a WrestleMania 2 video of Iron Sheik, and those are the boots. So they don't get the boots from the boot camp match, but they do get it from WrestleMania 2. Then last but not least, they're looking for Sgt Slaughter's campaign cover hat and swagger stick, which is easy to find. Sgt Slaughter has them both. He hands them over both for free. WWE definitely comes out ahead on this episode, and it wasn't so much heavy into the items this episode as in previous episodes because they have to fill that runtime, but it was more on Sgt Slaughter, Iron Sheik, their relationship, their matches, how Iron Sheik is doing today, how Sgt Slaughter was perceived back then. So that's really what the episode is really heavy into, those two characters versus the items themselves, which was fine. It was a little bit slower paced episode, but I still enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite one out of all of them. When I think of Sgt Slaughter, I really think of him and the beginning of Degeneration X and the Attitude Era. I do have fond memories of his time where he was in the animated series G.I. Joe, which they actually refer to in this episode. As far as him being a wrestler, that was a little before my time. But like I said, if you're a wrestling fan, you'll enjoy this episode. A little bit slower pace, but overall still good. Did you guys watch the episode? No real questions this time. There wasn't anything like controversial of like, what would you do if you were in this situation? I didn't get that from any of them. I mean, maybe that one ring announcer guy, but this one, it was just an okay episode, just something to fill the time. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and keep watching, keep listening out for questions, leave comments down below, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.